It's Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is November 22nd, 2025. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching the video. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe wherever you're at watching this video. You can also find me on X at AlphaCharts365. I post things market related there all the time. I also have a subscriber group. It's $10 a month, but you get an immense amount of information from that. $10. Again, that's per month. You get in-depth market weekend video. You get a focus list video on the weekend, what I'm going to be buying for the week. You get the watch list. You get midweek videos, midweek market notes. We've been cautious in this market now for about 2 weeks now. That's just the way that we were looking at it. So you get a ton of information. If you want to experience it, it's month to month. There's no contracts, and it's cost $10 a month. So click on at AlphaCharts365, click on the subscribe button, and it's right there. Dog. And then also, if you're a YouTube only watcher, I offer the same video content and most of the standard written content in YouTube only in the for members. Same $10, no different. So give that a try if you're interested in that. All right, let's get into the charts. All right, we're starting with the Dow Jones Industrial. Um, big up, you have the double top, and then you have this first move. Now, that was a pretty nasty reversal day. I've seen a lot of people start posting, oh, and we're going to get to the equal weight. We were green yesterday, so that's, the bottom's in. And I disagree. I disagree. I think we have one more leg lower, probably into this 450, 452 area, and for the Dow Jones. And I think that's where we may start to see a bottoming pattern of retest. Now, it may not get there. Maybe it gets to 454, 455, right? But I think we have one more leg lower, really to start to get these moving averages and everything else. But that's a pretty important price support area. And I wouldn't, that's just, what I think. And then the correction would be top to bottom, roughly 6-7%, something like that. Um, that sounds about right. Run of the mill within the context of a bull market. Let's look at the spot. By the way, the weekly down 1.96. SPY weekly was down 1.92, so 2%. And looking here on the SPY, yeah, you could just see that, it's a big top. Again, I can't call that the start of anything because it had a 1% move. Yes, it's a nice first start, lower volume. There's just not enough there. So I think we're still in this cautious. Am I starting new shorts here? No, I'm not starting new shorts here. That's just, I think we should be covering shorts with any further weakness. But yeah, I think we can move maybe a little bit lower from here. Again, top to bottom, this has moved already, up around 5%, 5.5%. And so it could go a little bit lower. And again, still within the context of a bull market. Let's just see where the 200 is real fast. Yeah, I don't think it gets to 200. Um, I just think it has one more leg lower, builds in the bottom, somewhere maybe around here, roughly. So a lot of people are talking about the RSP. Oh, the RSP was up big. It was up 2%. And on the week, it was only up down 0.84, right? So that must be in big volume. Again, it's a whippy market. This is not this like very easy to trade market. So we may start to see, something digging in, but it doesn't mean it's going straight up from here. It means it could come back and retest the lows again. Like this is not the place where it's under the 50-day moving average. You got to give it some more time and have a little more patience. You can't just call bottoms and think that, oh, we're back. That just is not happening. Again, that's at 5.5%. Qs down 3% on the week, so definitely weaker. Again, tried that bounce, really didn't do much, up 0.75%. Underneath a flat to declining 50-day. Again, we got to see a lot more dig in, I think, before we can call this the bottom. Equal weighted Qs. Okay, I'm going through these a little slower than normal because it's interesting to me. Down 220, 2.2. Again, same idea. No, does this look like a bottom? I mean, maybe it is, and we'll know in maybe another week or so, right? Maybe 4 or 5 days, if this is a bottom. But today, can we call that a bottom? No, no. Here is the mid caps. Again, nice bounce back. Look how extended we were from the 50-day. That's all that was to me right now was overly extended market bounce back. It was pretty good, but it was just a bounce back. Right? It needs more work before I can put my money at risk. Because I think that it's likely that we, you know, at least retest the bottom here, or at least come back down one more time. These are big, wide-ranging bars. I'm not willing to step in front of that. And then look at IWM on the weekly. That was only down 0.79 as well. So again, came back quite a bit on Friday, but still well below the declining 50-day moving average. Has a lot of work to do. A lot of work. Again, maybe we start building a bottom. Maybe it comes down and undercuts this low, right, to 225-ish, 226, right? That's a possibility. So yeah, so markets had one really bad day, or a few really bad days, and then one good day. And everyone wants to call a bottom here. Can't do it quite yet. Need more information, 100%. XLF, again, underneath the declining 50-day, right? Pretty low. SMH, under underneath a flat to declining 50-day, right? Again, is this a reversal bar? I hope so. Listen, I want this to be bullish. I need to see more. I'm not willing to call this, especially underneath a flat to declining 50-day. I'm not willing to call this the bottom quite yet. It's a start. XSD, same idea. Again, but look how far it was below a declining 50-day. IYT, same thing. 50 days starting to decline. Need to see more from IYT. XTN, same idea. ITB. So ITB is interesting. That was up 5%. And on the week, it was up 1.39%. And so, I've always felt like ITB or housing has led us to the downside. And so and notice how it didn't come all the way back and retest here. This is a different story. This gets me a little bit more bullish, right? I like to see housing recover. And so I think this is, looking for a bullish sign, this could be one of them, right? The start. I need to see a little bit more, but love this. And the start that housing is done, it stopped at a pretty specific spot right here. It's got to retake 100 and really, the 50-day. XHB, same idea. Mag 7, now underneath a flat to declining, well, not flat, 50-day moving average. Not that far underneath, though. This can retake pretty quick. And Bitcoin. Again, maybe this is the reversal bar we've been looking for. Absolutely brutal, brutal, brutal move. Again, we got to see this start to recover. Maybe that's step one. We'll see this weekend. Also in Ethereum, step one. Now we'll peek at the dashboard. You see in stage analysis, stage 4 was as high as 55, 56%. So it's back down to 50. That's a start. Again, near on if you follow my feed on X, posts this chart of these, which is nice of him. Yeah, so stage 2 is only 27.2. You can see where we've been kind of talking versus, this October 10th, we've been, not bear, cautious, bullish, kind of choppy, just like the market, right? And we got cautious right in here, right? That was it. That was what our last signal. But yeah, you see just weakening stats all over the place. So we have to see more. We have to see more on these charts. I think that, yes, I'm willing to say this is a day 1. Talk to me on day 4, right? Talk to me on day 5. If we see more improvement, then we can go. Again, if this was the bottom, I don't need to catch this because if it's a continuation of this uptrend, we're fine. We have plenty, right? So this way I'm looking at this. So I think a little more patience. That's the way I'm approaching the markets. I have a few longs on. I have no shorts anymore, and so that's it. All right. If you haven't done so, check me out at AlphaCharts365, posting stuff there all the time. Also on Twitter, I'm sorry, on YouTube. Check that out as well. All right. Y'all have a great day.